If I were to say that I religiously followed the WNBA for the last 3 years, I'm pretty sure that you would not believe me, because the reality is the WNBA isn't as fun to watch as the NBA. But as we all know, that all changed with the arrival of Caitlin Clark. I mean, there's no female player in WNBA history that has gained the attention of the entire sports world the way Caitlin is doing right now. She's currently putting women's basketball on center stage for casual sports fans to talk about, which is something that has never been done for ages. For the sake of comparison, what Caitlin is doing right now is similar to what Michael Jordan did back in the early 90s when he elevated the game itself to a whole new level while also making the NBA marketable and more profitable in the process.
Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. Okay, now let's not talk viewership, let's talk ticket sales. Bear with me. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. What that means is without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would have taken till 2029 or 2030 to get to where Caitlin Clark has gotten them today. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years. So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now.
As they say, the numbers don't lie. The presence of Caitlin alone in the WNBA has indeed put more butts in the seats and more eyes on the WNBA as a basketball product. She has become an instant ambassador for the WNBA and women's basketball in general. For the very first time in a long while, the WNBA has finally found the face of the league that they can bank on for the years to come. But see, despite the media attention and the insane amount of money that Caitlin is bringing to the WNBA, a lot of her peers and foreign players are not happy with what she's doing right now. In fact, most of them just hate her because they believe she's hogging the spotlight onto herself. I mean, take the case of Lynette Woodard. In case you're unfamiliar with the name, Woodard played for Kentucky from 1977 to 1981. During her playing days, Woodard was just an absolute beast and was considered one of the most prolific scorers of her time. So much so that she ended up as the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball history with 3,649 points to her name. Now, when Caitlin surpassed her scoring record last February, Woodard came out a bit salty and defensive upon learning the news. Instead of acknowledging and celebrating her accomplishment, here's what she said. "I am the hidden figure, but no longer now. My record was hidden from everyone for 43 years. 43 years. I don't think, I'll just go ahead and get the open out of the room. I don't think my record has been broken because you can't duplicate, but you're not duplicating. So unless you come with a men's basketball and a two-point shot." While she has a right to be acknowledged as the uncrowned leading scorer of women's college basketball, I think it's off-putting to put Caitlin in a bad light right after she just dethroned her. See, while it's true that Woodard played in a much more challenging basketball environment back then than Caitlin, it's not Caitlin's fault that the three-point line was added. It's not her fault that she has to play using a women's-sized basketball. The game simply evolved over time. If the so-called advantages favored Caitlin offensively in a certain way and made her a better scorer, then it's not her fault. So, why take it against her? You'd never hear Kareem making some lousy excuse about how there was no three-pointer back in the day when LeBron broke his scoring record last year. In fact, Kareem was actually on the sidelines and eventually celebrated with him on the court the moment LeBron hit the record-breaking shot. No one even knew about Woodard and her record until Caitlin broke it. With that being said, Woodard should have been thankful to Caitlin instead of discrediting her, because now she finally has the chance to be recognized for the things she has done for the game, all thanks to the media attention that Caitlin brought upon her. Another Hall of Famer who is oozing with jealousy against Caitlin is former WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes. Just like Woodard, Swoopes quickly discredited Caitlin for breaking the all-time scoring record by saying that the reason why she successfully broke it was simply because she had played more games. This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it. So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broken that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean. So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? At first, it might sound like Swoops was dropping facts. However, a simple search online would tell you that Swoops was lying. Caitlin has actually surpassed Plum's record by playing fewer games. Plum had set the record with 139 games, while Caitlin broke it in just 126 games. Swoops didn't stop there. After spitting 100% lies, she would double down on her narrative by saying Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game. Here? I know you like that. Hell yeah, okay. Once again, if someone were to just type in Caitlin Clark's stats this year, it would show via ESPN that the 4-year player from Iowa attempts 22.3 shots a game. So, she just said that the reason why she scored a ton of points was because she was taking 40 shots a ball game. But once again, a simple Google search would tell you that Swoops was lying. According to her college stats, Cum was just taking around 18 to 22 shots a ball game and was nowhere near the 40 shots that Swoops was saying. I mean, it's clear as day that you can't teach class regardless of whether you're a Hall of Famer like Swoops or an up-and-coming star like Angel Reese. See, the reason why I brought up Reese in the conversation is that she too has been low-key Caitlin. I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now, and understanding negative things have probably been said about me. But honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball that you never would think would be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold-out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role. And I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. If I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball, it's not just because of one person. It's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game. To me, Reese is simply jealous of Caitlin because even though Reese and her team have defeated her for the state championship, Caitlin still became the #1 overall pick in the draft. Worse, she got selected over her. I mean, at this point, everyone seemingly hates and is jealous of Caitlin and her popularity, whether it be the OGs, her co-rookies, or the veterans in the league. Well, speaking of vets, Lexi Brown has also fired some shots at Caitlin around the issue that Ice Cube apparently offered her $5 million to play on the Big Three for 8 games. Here's her take on it. If you open the article and you see what he said was his reasoning, he wanted to provide more opportunities for WNBA players and provide opportunities to not go overseas. So you offer the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA? Big Three does not happen during overseas season, so that doesn't make sense. That's true. The people coming at me, no one really came at me sideways. 1. I'm not a hater. This has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. If he offered this to any college player, it would have been like, why? But because he's offering her $5 million, that's a better business decision than the WNBA wanting her to come play at the WNBA and be locked in with the W. That's not a business decision for us haters because we want her to come to the W, where she will be celebrated and embraced and uplifted. It's going to be like, nothing's going to be easy. It's going to be competitive, but we're waiting for her. I don't know what Lexi is smoking, because the only kind of welcome that Caitlin has received so far was all about nothing but hate and pain. It happened prior to the inbound, so then anybody can shoot the free throw. Of course, Indiana would have Clark as a great free throw shooter shoot it a little lightning quick. Talk about the physicality. Dana, Evans rapping up about Seattle, and all of a sudden we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been all second quarter long, 44. To put the cherry on top, the WNBA didn't pick Caitlin to be a part of the USA team that will be competing in this upcoming Olympics, even though she has the skills and the stats to back it all up. But then again, despite all the hate and the oozing smell of jealousy that she's been receiving from all angles, Caitlin is proving her bullies wrong game after game. She's currently averaging 16.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.4 steals, and is on her way to becoming the Rookie of the Year. With this said, I think Caitlin will do just fine. The hate she's been receiving will just fuel the fire inside her belly even more. Anyway, what do you guys think? Was Caitlyn snubbed from the Olympics because of all the hate she's been getting? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Until next time, this was Zach, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.